Hello and welcome to another video. This one is an example of a super simple card where it's a combination of letting the designer series paper and some embellishments really be the focal point here, along with a very simple sentiment here coming from the lovely You stamp set. This is an example of a card design that you could make stepped up really quickly, but if you want a card that is pretty simple and can be kind of designed, here is an example of one where it's a little bit more gender neutral, if you will, and then this one's obviously with the floral is a little bit more feminine, but you essentially let the embellishments do the talking, you let the sentiment do the talking, but it's a combination of simple and a little bit more complex. And then just to tie in the front to the inside of the card, you've got that little piece of strip there of the designer series paper. So let me show you how to do this so that by the end of this video we'll actually have a set of 4 unique cards. So first things first, like I said, we're using the lovely You stamp set. This one's great because it has a series of different cards, sentiments that you can use, and it also has little designs that you can use. So that's always nice where you have sentiments and designs, so that way you get more bang for your buck with those types of cards. So because I'm going to essentially be making another set of 2, I need 2 card bases. So these are just both 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 for both of them. So essentially it's one page of 8 1/2 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and then cut right down the middle at 4 1/4. So then we have the brand new matte black dots. I thought that they would go really well with this white and black paper. So I use these. The benefit to this one is that they actually have 2 sizes. They've got the larger size and the smaller size. So on my design cards here, I actually used both. The one that had more text, I used the smaller dots. I used the larger dots on the larger text. So let me show you how to do this. First things first, and I used the Memento ink for this one. So first things first, I need a piece of cardstock, and this piece here is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you might be wondering, why is it the entire face of the card? And that's because I'm using it in its half capacity, but I needed to stretch the side of the card base. So how you do this, if you wanted your cards to all be absolutely identical, you would want to measure a certain distance, so say like 1 1/2 inches on this side and this side. I'm just going to eyeball it. It does not need to be perfect. It does not need to even match. You could have it really steep if you wanted. You could have it a little bit more restrained, if you will. So I'm going to do that. Let's see. That point is almost 1 inch, which means that's almost 1 inch. So there you go. So you could do kind of what you want for this one. I'm going to make this one a little steeper. We'll see if I like that better. Let's find out. So now I've just cut that in half, and here's what I've gotten. I've gotten 2 pieces. Ooh, wow, I did a good job there. Almost completely identical pieces that overlay with one another. You don't have to do this. You could make it where it is less elevated than this. It's up to you. So let's go ahead and move that out of the way. I have pre-cut these. Essentially, one strip of 4 1/4 DSP from the 12 inches gives you, since a regular sheet of paper here is 11 inches, that gives you a 1 inch stripped rest of the piece. So I actually took that leftover piece and I sliced that right in the half so that I can use one piece with this on the inside and one piece with that on the inside. So let's get started. Like I said, it does not take very long to do this. Before you glue down, before you add your sentiment, you really will want to glue down your piece. So I'm going to just use my liquid adhesive here. You could use your seal if you prefer to use your seal. That is absolutely a fine choice here. The reason for the liquid glue, though, is that I kind of like it when I've got a little bit of wiggle room, so that way if I put something down, at a weird angle, I can kind of make up for it really quickly and kind of wiggle it into place. So I am doing that. Here we go. And there we go. And there we go. So one thing to note, I am currently using this new piece of this new paper pack here that's all black and white. It's called True Love Designer Series paper, and it's meant to be in one of our Valentine's Day kits. But as you can tell here, it's not overtly Valentine-y. One of the future cards I suspect I will make with this paper is a card in which I'll be coloring the DSP, which is always a lot of fun to do, almost borderline therapeutic. So now, before I add my sentiment, okay, or before I fold it and I add this little strip on the inside, I want to add my sentiment. So I preloaded one that says smile and one that says miles apart but still in my heart. I kind of think that this one here is going to be really nice. No, for the larger one. So let's go ahead and get our Memento ink out. Open that up, stamp, and I've been doing it over here. There we go. So now let's go ahead and let that dry while we get the other card base ready, as I'm making stuff fall over here. So now doing the same thing, but this time I am putting the glue on this side. Oh, hello, that was a lot. Let's just gently. Let's see if I can. Okay, that will hopefully be sufficient. I'm worried that it's a little heavy there. Let's see if I can just drag it. There we go. So if you ever get a little bit too much glue there, you may want to, it might be worth investing in trying to clear that up before you allow it to dry all the way, just because if it's a little too thick, that can lead to some kind of almost like glue damage to your card. And I am currently using the thick card base here. It is definitely what you want to do when you're making a card where it's not multiple layers on top of one another, because this is going to be a lot sturdier as a result. So let's go ahead, fold that down, and use my bone folder to crease it down. Same thing for my next one. Oh, and I should add my sentiment now. So with my floral one, I just wanted to add a simple sentiment. So I'm going to just add the one that says smile. And then we'll see if that looks nice. And then we'll add some embellishments. So I've just kind of stamped it on. Same thing. And smile. So the one benefit of leaving your paper pretty straight is that you can line up your sentiment with the paper. So that serves as kind of your ruler. So now I'm going to add this strip to the inside and add my embellishments, and then I am done. So this is an example of a really simple card, and it's great because it allows you to get some really kind of letting your paper do the talking versus letting rather than forcing you to do that. So I just used, there we go. I just had my ATG gun on hand there, but obviously if you've got your seal, you'll want to use that. Or if you've got your liquid glue, because I knew that this one, see here what I'm doing, I'm kind of lining it up in a corner first, then moving this piece to lining it up to where I need it to be. So I've got an assortment of adhesives here. That one was just handy, but let's go ahead and add our embellishments. And so here, what I did last time, and you may have noticed, the larger sentiment, the one that takes up more space, I gave them the small embellishments. The smaller one, I gave them the larger ones. So I'll keep up with that. So let's do the larger embellishments. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. Oop, there you go. And I'm just essentially just adding 3 of those guys. If these were 3 different sizes, I would probably have done them in decreasing sizes, but because they are I only have 2 different sizes, that didn't make a ton of sense, so I didn't do that. So now we're going to use the smaller ones, and I'm going to make it level with this miles apart here, or at least pretty close to level. There we go. And one more. So the eye prefers thirds or even number, or sorry, odd numbers. So there we go. So now, if I move this off to the side for you, I've got here 4 cards with 4 different paper fronts, 4 different sentiments, And on top of that, I have gotten essentially a set that I can easily bundle up and give to somebody who I know would be able to use these. So this is an example of a super simple card, very easy to make and very easy to send out to loved ones. So if you need any of these materials, let me try to space them out here. Then feel free to get in touch and I will help you with that. So again, this one here is using the lovely U stamp set. It's also using the matte black dots. And it's definitely one of those sets that like, oh, and I guess I should show you the paper again. So there's the rest of that paper. It's got a lot of patterns. Like I said, I'm going to probably be making some cards in which I color the DSP, and maybe even ones where I kind of highlight coloring some of it. So if you need any of these materials, feel free to get in touch. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.